All right, folks, back on the Bossman Show, special guest, Fulton Titans volleyball coach Ashley Preston with me, HBCU grad, and she coached here at Spelman in the AUC down the street from where I be at. What it is, Ashley, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Tell me this, how's the weather in Fulton, California today? Is it sunny and 75 as always is?
Yes. I live in Long Beach actually, but yeah, it's beautiful. I can't complain. I live across the street from the beach. So, going to take a nice long walk after this to, decompress. So, yeah.
Yes. So let me ask you, Ashley, I read your bio. You was a former basketball player. So tell me this: how do you go from basketball to being followed by a coach getting digs? With the Roman rebounds, you're getting digs now. When they could dig on the post and hit the post, man, but you know how that is. Now you're digging in volleyball. Tell me, how did you go from that being in Vegas to a volleyball player? Tell us all about your journey in that regard,
Yeah,
Ashley.
I've always wanted to play basketball because my grandfather played for John Wooden at UCLA. So I wore his number too while I played, and just it was something that I was always interested in. And then I just happened to be talking to a friend, Keiki Lindo. I'll never forget this. I was talking to a friend and I was like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to volleyball practice, like tryouts." And I was like, "Oh, you mean that sport where they wear the little short shorts? Like, I'm not wearing that. I wear basketball shorts." And she was like, "Ashley, you can wear your basketball shorts. You can wear your basketball shoes. Just come with me and try out." And I tried out. I made, this was in the 10th grade. I made JV at Durango High School. And then towards the end of the season, Bob Kelly, who I owe my whole career, volleyball career to, Bob Kelly asked me if I wanted to move up to varsity because he saw something in me. And so went for varsity, got on the team, played the club volleyball circuit with Nevada Juniors. And then from there, I got a scholar. I was actually just going to go to San Diego State and try to walk on because I always wanted to go to school in California, being from Vegas, and my family grew up in California. But I was like, I'll be a walk on at San Diego State. But then Coach Bozier, Ramona Riley Bozier, called and had this opportunity for me to get a scholarship and then also academic money to suffice the full scholarship. And I was so reluctant to go. I was even like, HBCU? What? All Black people? No. Like, you see my friends are all multicultural. Like, no, like it's just different for people who grew up in the West Coast and their thought process about HBCU. I went on a visit, and my mom, she is a single mother. And so she was so worried about me getting loans as it relates to going to San Diego
Oh,
State.
yes.
So for her, I made the decision to go to Morgan State University. So, and from there, I was a libero. I was a starting libero and now hold records still to this day and one of the top 50 players in the MEAC in history. So, so yeah, and then from there, Coach Bozier, I wanted to stay for a boy. Let's be clear. Let's be honest. I had a
Okay.
boyfriend in college, and so I couldn't tell my grandfather I'm staying for a boy. So I had to strategize. So I asked Coach Bozier, like, "Hey, Coach, could I possibly be your GA after I graduate?" And she thought about it and she's like, "I think you could be my assistant." And so I was her full-time assistant for 2 years. And also I got my master's during that time because my mom encouraged me to. So I got tuition remission through Morgan State. So I actually have a master's in publication design from the University of Baltimore. So, and then, yeah, and then from there, Coach Bozier kicked me out of the nest. And so I was the assistant coach at Loyola Maryland University, at, of course, in Baltimore. And I appreciate my mom so much because that actually was a pay cut. I went from making $28,000 to $15,000. And it was part-time, and I asked my mom if she could possibly help me with my dream, and she always wants us to pursue our dreams, so I'm so grateful for Gail Preston. So yeah, I coached there and actually had an interview a couple of SWAC HBCUs and for a head coach, and they all told me like, "Yeah, you're just too young and not enough
Wow.
experience." So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make sure nobody ever says that. So I took a leap of faith and went to Atlanta, Georgia, to be Spelman College head volleyball coach. So, So that was my first head coaching gig. And also I was the sports information director too. So I had to write my
Wow,
own story
the double gig, the dual gig. I see you working. I'm gonna write my story and coach at the same time.
and coach at the same time. And then also drive this big old bus. Like I was like going like this with the bus. It was crazy. Like I was like, man, I put in work. But yeah, then once Spelman said that they were ending athletics, I applied for Coppin State University and received that job. And that's really what got me to Fullerton. Coppin State is one of the places that I'll always be grateful for. And it showed me a lot too about the city of Baltimore. Like going to college there, of course, is different than actually being there and being in it. And I love West Baltimore. I love the people in West Baltimore. It's such an amazing community that doesn't get that recognition that they deserve, and they love their community. And so I'm so grateful because that showed me systemic racism that I've never seen before, and I understood why young men and women make the decisions that they do. Whereas if I would have stayed on the West Coast, I still would have had that thought processy of like, well, they know right from wrong. Like it's not that hard, but also I'm looking from a lens of being Black middle class. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
yes.
as opposed to being entrenched in it and really understanding like you have no other way out, or you believe, you know what I mean? You
Oh
truly
yes.
have no other way
It's about
out.
survival at that point.
Survival. Yeah. So yeah. And then I just I applied to Fullerton, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna get this job. Like they're not gonna hire my little self, you know, and went on the interview and just honestly was my authentic self because I said I had nothing to lose. And my
Most
boss,
definitely.
my boss, he is an amazing man as it relates to thinking outside of the box at times. And I was that outside of the box hire. And yeah, I've been here now for 6 years. So been a tough road. You saw my record here. Been a tough road, but a long journey of learning.
Yes. The main thing is they stuck by you because in college athletics, the problem is the administration gonna stick by you. They'll cut you after three or 4 years. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean to be there as long as you have, I'm like, hey, yeah, he's definitely giving you opportunity to grow up, build a program the right way because some ads you ain't winning in a few years, you out of. And that
Yeah.
they don't realize that cycle over and over again, you don't have any continuity, so you're always gonna be in that same spot again every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. I really do appreciate how much they have supported me here, and helped me grow and learn. And also, I've helped them grow and learn to see what a coach of color too needs, to see what a young coach needs. You know what I mean? And those managerial skills that we don't get taught at times at smaller schools and things like that. And the politics, I had to learn politics on the fly. And woo, when I tell you I messed up, sometimes I have messed up, but it's you learning from your mess ups, and so that you don't make the same mistake again, you know? So yeah, it's been a journey. And I look back and smile because in it, I was like, whoa, I am in the storm. But once you walk through the storm and see it, all you see is clouds and rainbows and sunshine. So I'm glad I overcame the storm. So
Amen to that. I'm with you, Ashley. I had to learn politics too in radio. I had to learn it too, and my natural self is to curse somebody out. I had to learn you can't do that.
do that all the time. You can't do that all the time. No. 10 seconds. Take 10 seconds. Breathe in, breathe.
I gotta say, hey, pause. Let's not go with the West Side of Atlanta, Jr. Let's not go with that.
Right, exactly. We gotta check ourselves sometimes. Like, hey,
Let's use my Tennessee State education that I would get Tennessee State and use more common words,
yeah,
more
right,
tactful words per se.
exactly.
Yes, I love it. So let me ask you this, Ash, like you said, going from HBCU, living in Vegas. So tell me about that experience for you. For me, I feel at home at HBCUs. I feel at home. I'm around people I'm used to, who understands my where I came from. For you, it was like total opposites. How was it trying to get people to learn you, being from the West Coast in Vegas, the desert, and to Baltimore, whereas Baltimore City is a heck of a place.
Yeah,
So how was that for you? And how was that for people I say, hey, she's a cool girl. Let me learn more about the West Coast. So how's that
yeah.
for you?
Yeah, it was funny because when I went on my visit, like you got to understand, I grew up and it's not normal to see a lot of Black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when my grandfather's from Atlanta, Georgia, by the way, so shout out to ATL. So my grandfather's from Atlanta. But going there, I was like, wait, there's all Black people working at Starbucks? Wait, they're all working at Target? And it's such a weird racial culture shock for a person like me coming from the West. And how they adjusted to me, I'm just, like I said, I'm goofy and I'm personable. So they just thought, like, look at this Valley girl type thing. So it was always funny. The adjustment helped because one of my closest friends, she was from Colorado. So we went through it together type thing. So that helped too. Coach Mosier did a good job as it relates to roommates. And then, yeah, it's just me being me. So I made sure, like, I knew every time I stood up and say, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, of course, people, Vegas? I don't know anyone from Las Vegas, Nevada. And so that's what started conversations the moment I say where I'm from, you know? So, and it was fun getting to know, like, learning African diaspora. Like, I had no awareness of just the dispersed Africans everywhere, like New York accents. I love New York accents. I love Baltimore club music. I love go-go. Like those things now that I would have never been entrenched in. And we can't even talk about trap. I love that when I lived in Atlanta, y'all had 5 radio stations of trap. Do you know I
Yes.
don't even get one of hip hop? Like, and if it's hip hop here, it's like pop hip hop, you know what I mean? And
Oh
they think they're
yes.
doing something, and I'm like, no, you have no idea. So yeah, just being able to, I love learning from people. And then yes, like you said, then people learn from me. Like, where do you live in Vegas? Like, you live on the strip? I'm like, no, we don't live on the strip and stuff like that. So
Oh yes. And you like you said, like going to Nashville was like for me, Nashville was like a big small town for me. Like I'm like, this is small. Like it's like I'm not used to everybody knowing everybody, you know? I'm not used to that. But it's like, it was fun though. For me, I came out of trouble. Cause Nashville, I ain't get too much trouble in Nashville. If I go home to Atlanta, I'm gonna be in the streets.
yeah,
I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be in parts of the city. I can't take certain people with me. I can't take you this far of town with me. If I take you to
right.
like, so so for me, it's like like you said, it taught me a lot. For me, it made me become more reserved because I know when I was younger, I was belligerent. I wouldn't take certain things from certain people. So getting it from people who look like me, I was like, okay, cool. And then knowing it, go 2 miles over to Vanderbilt was like, whoa, West End, like, wow, the world changed in 2 miles.
Right, exactly, right.
Like, wow. So getting that shock as well for me was different because I was staying around the AUC. I was always over in that area. I didn't really venture off too far. I really didn't go to Buckhead per se or go to Alpharetta. I was more so on the North Side Drive area, North Atlanta area or South Atlanta. I wasn't really going on the Buckhead and Alpharetta. I go in Decatur. You know what I'm saying? So for me, getting that experience, like, okay, a little different. Now I know how to go to Buckhead and Alpharetta in Nashville. I can deal with it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the MEAC was fun. I mean, I'll tell you, the school. Tell us about the rivals in the MEAC. Playing Hampton when they was in the conference. You got to deal with the Eastern Shore as well, and all those Central and SC State and A&C. Now, tell us about those rivalries you all had playing those different teams.
Yeah, our biggest rivalry was for us when we played, when I played at Morgan, it was, I believe, I'm trying to think. FAM, of course, everyone's trying to beat FAM. And then Howard, because, Howard, HU, I have to hear that from two different,
Oh, yes. It's
two different schools.
it's very annoying.
Hey, I love that they love their schools, but however, Morgan State is the best. But yeah, so that was fun. And then it was funny because then when I coached at Coppin, right, how I had to shift my mindset to now not beating Coppin, but telling Coppin to beat Morgan, and you better not lose to Morgan. Whereas we were told at Morgan, you better not lose to Coppin. So that became a little small rivalry because I coached against my coach,
Mm-hmm.
Some of the players knew of me. And then, of course, everybody knows Ramona Riley Bozier. She's been there for 33 years, so it was fun to see that dynamic. And plus, when I coached at Coppin, I love having fans there. So we played actually in the smaller gym in the arena of Coppin, and I love that because that's in high school we played in the back gym. We didn't play in the front gym. Bob hated the front gym, so we played in the back. So that's how I know to play. So I would pack the little gym with like as many people as I could, like 300 people during the Morgan game. I used to give out free t-shirts to all fans, and it was just so much fun for my young women at the time because we were winning, and it was just so much fun to see that joy at Coppin and stuff like that. So and then we had this thing, I have to shout them out, the Coppin State Turn Up Squad, who were a group of baseball players and some of the volleyball players' friends. When I tell you they were the most live group ever, it was the best. Like, and we got them their own shirts that said Turn Up Squad. I designed them and stuff because I love designing and giving my players cool gear and stuff like that. So it was really fun experience to create that kind of rivalry, with West Baltimore and East Baltimore.
Oh yes, most definitely. And I could tell you using your degree very well because you can come up with different kind of themes and terminology, different sayings. So that degree's coming in handy for you, Ashley. I see it working for you. I see it working for you. Like I said, I definitely said, man, she used that degree good. I see you. Tighten up. I see you working.
Oh, yeah.
I see you. Hey, I see that SID working. I see that communication. I see that. I see it working now. Yep. I see
you. Titan culture. You know what I mean? Putting that on a shirt and
the code. I like the code.
Oh, the code. Yeah.
Tell us about the code. I mean, the code. I like the code. The code is nice though. I might just on this code for my staff. We got a code now. Tell us about the code you got, Ashley.
I needed something in 2019. I overhauled myself as a leader. I needed to check myself and what direction I wanted to go with Fullerton. Like that was like the starting moment of the growth of me as a head coach. And then also too, I wanted to change the culture with the team. And so I brought in my team leaders we designated team leaders finally, and I taught them how to lead. And so I was like, what do you want to see changed? Right. And so we talked about it, and they were like, well, we want people to go to class. And I was like, okay, so you want people to be responsible. They said they didn't want cliques in the group. So they want people to be relational, and then they said that when they have conversations with people, they want to have some semblance of respect, like each person leaves with respect. And I was like, okay, so let's call it respectful and let's call it the code. And really, ultimately, what you want to do is be your sister's keeper. Now, be your sister's keeper is a play from My Brother's Keeper from a certain movie that we all know.
No doubt.
Or the Bible. It is in the Bible too. But just having that and really seeing my players take it as a life of its own. And that's what we call it, the code. So if you break the code and those 3 core values, well, technically 4 if you're not your sister's keeper, then there's rules in place for what happens with that. And it just holds us all accountable. And it helped so much during the pandemic of being your sister's keeper. And on our Instagram, they asked each of our player what it means to them. And just to read what it means, it's beautiful. During the protests, all of that, everything came down to being your sister's keeper and being relational, responsible, respectful, regardless of what you look like, regardless of where you come from. You can still be your sister's keeper and say, I see you, I support you, you matter. And those are my biggest words to my players. And yeah, I adore my young women. They're the best. Like, they're such G's, and they work hard on the court and in the classroom, and just continue to see the fruits of their labor. You know what I mean? In 2019, we all did that culture overhaul, and to see it, then we have the best record since 2012, and to see it that was so gratifying for me too, to be seen from my colleagues of my program doing better, of being co-coach of the year with Robin Almo, who is an Olympian. And she's like amazing coach, and to be garnered that with her, and for her to text me and be like, dude, you deserve that. Like, wait, what? Like, that's all you, you're top 10 in the nation. Are you crazy? And she's like, we both are building programs, and I appreciate that. So yeah, the code, I love it. I got to get you a shirt. I'll send you a shirt.
Please do. I'll wear that to my staff meeting. And I'll say, now I'll edit the code. Say, hey, the third thing, you fired. It's gonna be you fired. I love it. He gave me some ideas. Okay, yeah. Talk to JR. Talk to JR again. You're fired.
There you go.
I love it. I love it. And tell me this. So what is the ideal young woman for your program in Fullerton that you got to recruit for and go out to bring in to play for those Titans out there in the Big West?
Yeah. Oh, ideal young women. Interesting. You got to have bounce. I joke and say that. So vertical, right? So I call it bounce. A young woman who aspires to be more than just a volleyball player. So I like the all around. I love asking the question, like, what's a cause that's important to you and how are you serving that cause? I care about self-care when it comes to talking to athletes. I ask more intentional questions and just like, what's your vertical? How hard do you hit? And things like that, because you can get a very talented player to come and disrupt your culture. So I need to know, I need to know how resilient are you? How do you push back? How do you like being talked to? As it relates to, I love hearing, I'm a perfectionist. Oh, perfectionists are great.
Same here.
Yeah, because if you are so aspiring to perfection, what happens when that doesn't come? Like, what does a bad day look like for you? And those questions, it's tough. We're in Southern California, and at times it feels like we are someone's second choice. You know what I mean? So we liked being liked just as much. So us as a coaching staff will respond to kids who reach out to us and be like, I'm really interested in your program. We take more of a look at that kid as opposed to like begging someone, what we won't do anymore. Because that's what I did in the past when I didn't have culture. I was begging, or they come to Fullerton because we're 45 minutes away from California and 25 minutes away from two beaches. They're coming for that and not for to play volleyball at Fullerton. So just being really more intentional about the questions I ask once I get over the like, ooh, she can jump high and hit hard, being more intentional with those questions.
Most definitely, because like you said, culture is everything. If a kid wants to really be there and be about the culture and grow, because you want to have a kid that really wants to represent your program for what it is.
Yeah.
Not for their future aspirations, wherever they may be, because that will tank your program like no other. And trust me, I know how that works firsthand.
Yeah.
I saw it happen too many times.
Yeah.
So having the right mindset is what you need always for a good program. So I'm with you there, Ashley. That's great. And so this summer, you guys have the girls work out on campus. Last year, with the COVID restrictions, now Georgia never closed, as you probably know. California went with that. You all were shut down. So having the young women on campus this summer to work out and get stronger and grow and develop in their game, how's it going to be for you and your staff here, knowing that you can actually work with them this summer?
Well, it's great. Actually, volleyball can't work with them over the summer.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah, due to summer access. Yeah, you talk about basketball stuff. Hey, help me change that rule. If you could help me change the rule so that volleyball can coach in the summer, I'd appreciate that.
Hey, I trust me, I'll do that. I know I got some people I know. I can get that done. I can text people, hey, look at this for me, please. Or I will bang the drum even loud on this show. Bang the drum and tell you need to get this done.
Yeah, but it'd be so great to see if they choose, like have them come in to do weights. And they usually at times, our gym is available. So they'll go in and utilize the gym when we're not there, and just the ability to do it, I think that's what's the best thing. Cause yes, we were completely shut down, like could do nothing, could not be at Fullerton at all. So to be able to have that access, to be able to have two of our Texas players get to live on campus in the summer and take classes, that'll help so much with when we all come back together in August with that chemistry and stuff like that. Because volleyball is different. We don't practice all summer, and then we literally have 2 weeks to prepare a team to play.
Wow.
Yeah, so and then the development comes in the spring, and then once again, we take a 2-month break. So we do individual development, and then the players leave. So it's a tough interesting thing that we're all just used to, but I think we're now more and more seeing how people are like, hey, maybe we should take a look at this. Maybe we should have summer access a little bit like football does. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not asking for the whole summer, but maybe potentially
At least a session or a quarter.
at least a session. Exactly. Like at least a session so we can get some type of rhythm in, because 2 weeks,
You're
you are
starting off cold.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's the honor system. Are they really working out? Are they really doing? Then you got to figure out who's in shape, who's not in shape. You got to get in shape during games. You lose sets because people aren't in shape
or injuries.
Injuries, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know how it is for me. And I take a few days off shooting basketball. I mean, I'm like, oh, okay, this ain't good. I need to keep this going more and more and more and more here. I be tripping. See, I have a court in my backyard here, so.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, I got a court here in Henry County out here.
Right, y'all able to do that. You got land. Long Beach ain't got no land. I don't have land in this apartment.
yeah. So I get in the court, like, oh man, I'm being in the 30s. I'm like, Lord, I'm not in my 20s no more. I can't just go out and do this no more. Yes. So let me ask you this before we close out here. Tell me, what was your favorite time being here in Atlanta, the city that your grandfather grew up was from, and what city that I love, of course, being from down here. Tell me, what's your favorite memories of being down here?
Favorite memories are, of course, hanging out with my friends. I just went back actually, and I went to this place, Pin and Proper. Have you heard of it?
I heard of it, yes.
Yes, and went foaling. I'm like, this is such a University of Georgia like frat game. Like I'm throwing footballs at bowling pins, and it was so much fun. So that, of course, eating. I gained a lot of weight when I used to live in Atlanta. I lived in Camp Creek, so I lived next to every single eatery.
Oh yes, where the U Bar is.
Yeah, where the U Bar is. Yeah. And Old Lady Gang. I just went there to the one in Camp Creek. That was popping. Like, yes. Of course, I just enjoy being around just Black people of excellence. And it's so normalized. And you just are, and you just get to be you. That's why I love the show Atlanta. Because when I watch that show, I crack up and call my friend in Atlanta. I was like, this is so Atlanta. This is like, Donald Glover did such a great job with that show, because I'm just like, he didn't do the high profile things that you see in the hip hop videos, right?
Oh,
it was so just entrenched in what Georgia is and what Atlanta is. And so I loved it. But of course, it's Small Cakes is my favorite cupcake spot there. And yeah, like I had so much fun in a year that I lived there. And I know if I didn't leave to pursue this opportunity, I'll be having a big old house like you with a volleyball court in the backyard and a basketball court on the side. So I love Atlanta. It's always going to have my heart too. It's one of those places I know I'm gonna venture back one day and live in Atlanta.
Yeah, maybe I'm still doing radio. They ain't doing radio. Yeah, you can still come on my radio show. be like a co-host if they ain't doing the radio yet. I've been this 10 years. Okay, 10 more in me, hopefully. 10 more, 10 to keep on going for 10 more years. So we'll see what we got going. And so you from Vegas. So you happy to have the Raiders out there now, and now they got the hockey team as well. So did you think Vegas have pro sports the way they do right now? Did you ever see that happen when you was a kid?
No, I never saw that. And it's so funny. That's why, growing up, I was never tied to a team, because I'm like, we bet on everybody. So, yeah, but it's so funny. My uncle played for the Raiders. So to see it now be the Las Vegas Raiders is interesting, right? But it makes sense. I know they're making a lot of money doing that too. So, because you got the LA people now being able to drive there to see them and everything like that. I think it's great. The hockey team has done an amazing job, and I was here, while it started. So watching my friends get so invested in hockey, and I'm like, y'all, it's hockey. And they're like, no, you don't understand, Ashley. It's a movement. And I was like, okay. So I love that they were really good right away for Vegas,
Most definitely. T-Mobile Arena is a nice place.
Yeah.
And you know what? NBA team coming here real soon. because they're going to expand to Seattle and Vegas. So you have 3 pro teams in Vegas. So
wow. Okay,
yeah.
got you.
So
Got
you'll
you.
have the NBA team in Vegas playing at T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah, okay.
In
That makes
probably 2024. So
okay.
it's the word.
Look, you telling me some inside info. You telling
Yes,
me some inside info.
yes, it's coming. Trust and believe it's coming. Seattle has new arena coming up in Seattle. Vegas got T-Mobile Arena. They're gonna move Memphis to the Eastern Conference. So the Memphis Grizzlies will be in the East now.
Got you.
They should
Wow.
be. They shouldn't be out
It
west.
should
No way.
be. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's some NBA inside information right there for you here on the Bossman Show on your radio. Yeah. If you don't know, now you know. Yes. Well, Ashley, it's been fun to chat with you today. This is fun. You know, go enjoy that beach. It's 84 degrees here and humid and muggy. But
I don't miss that. I don't miss the humidity. I don't miss that.
I wish I was near a beach right now to go. I can't swim, but I go out in the water halfway and run back when the waves go back. So I can't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, but from the hood cannot swim. We can't swim. We just go enjoy the water and hope we don't drown. You know, so yes, indeed. Well, you have a great day. This was very fun. Do this again real soon. I'll be definitely supporting your team and making sure you guys win. I'll make sure I promote and support volleyball and getting you that access you want. I'm gonna make sure I throw it out there some more. Bang that drum for you.
So much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. This was fun.
All right. Have a great day.
You too now.
Bye.
Bye.